It's one of those things where like a man is 35 and he comes back from therapy and starts telling you all of these things that he learned, and you're just standing there like, I've known that since I was 7. I look like I just got out of a blender. Poopmaxxing. I am yogurt. Wait, what? Hello, ladies and tangentlemen. Welcome back to the Tangent Podcast. Yes, you heard me. I said the Tangent Podcast. I did not say Tangent Telephone. Also, I'm holding the mic because there is no place that makes sense for me to put it right now. I don't know. I ordered a little side table that fits perfectly for the height, but it's in my living room and I can't right now. Anyway, hello, my tangentlemen. That's still a work in progress. Ow, I have a pinched nerve in my neck. I'm pretty sure I hurt my shoulder really bad and I have a pinched nerve. Everything hurts. It's actually good that I have to look this way because it's kind of my only option at the moment. I'm aware that my hair looks insane. Okay, I took out my tape-in extensions over the weekend. I just went on a whole rant about this on my Patreon, but just like never let me do those again unless I can find ones that are the same texture as my hair and like that are curly hair. But it's just hard because it's like my hair is a bit of an anomaly. It's blonde, but it's extremely curly. I try to put it up, but it's like impossible to actually get it all up. Oh. I am in pain. Okay, I want to first read a quote because the last 2 weeks I have not done that. Actually, going back to the book, weirdly, because I haven't picked this up since probably the day that I did that podcast, which was a few episodes ago. I think that was before I got sick, maybe even. I'm not sure. But I read a couple of pages from this book in episode 3 or 4 of this. This is difficult because it's like, why did I decide to do seasons? I mean, in hindsight, it makes sense because I took such a long break, but like, technically, this is not episode 6. Who knows what episode this is? Probably like 40 something. Whatever. I hadn't picked this up again until this morning when I was like reading for 5 minutes in the morning. I want to read a page from it. Maybe I need to balance the mic here because if I'm carrying it, I mean, that was the whole reason I had to forego using a handheld mic because I'd just be whipping it around and then the sound is ass. This is page 74 of, well, it depends. This is Dao De Jing, a New English version by Stephen Mitchell, but this is page 74. If you realize that all things change, there's nothing you will try to hold on to. If you aren't afraid of dying, there's nothing you can't achieve. Trying to control the future is like trying to take the master carpenter's place. When you handle the master carpenter's tools, chances are that you'll cut yourself. A bitch. The bitch part was added by me. That wasn't written here. Trying to control outcomes, trying to control situations, trying to control most things will pretty much always do the opposite of what you had intended, and it will just create a lot more pain. While I did learn this lesson like very early in life, anytime I find myself trying to control something, I sometimes have to still remind myself. I wanted to read this one too. I really like this one. This is 76. Men are born soft and supple. Dead, they are stiff and hard. Plants are born tender and pliant. Dead, they are brittle and dry. Thus, whoever is stiff and inflexible is a disciple of death. Whoever is soft and yielding is a disciple of life. The hard and stiff will be broken. The soft and supple will prevail. I love that. I have always said I think the account still exists. I had like a poetry Instagram account. I think it was called Prose Feels. I'm going to look for that and put a screenshot in if I can find it. Like 2017, 2018. One of them, I believe, actually now I'm second guessing if I ever posted that, but I do know I posted it somewhere, maybe on just like my regular Instagram, and it got a lot of, I don't know, it gained a lot of traction. And I think it was actually, yeah, now that I'm thinking about it, it was my personal Instagram because it was something I had handwritten in my journal and then posted in like a dump. Something along the lines of, I am far too soft to be broken. Something like that. Or was it well, now I'm like, wait, there's been 2 times where I posted something kind of like that. One of them was like, I am yogurt. Wait, what? What the fuck was it? Sorry, pregnancy brain. Or I've just written and done a lot of things and can't remember. The sentiment was that, like, you can't break yogurt in half. Doing a very terrific job of expressing myself today, we can see. Being too soft to ever actually be broken. How that kind of really is the story of my life. And also just, I don't know, the best people that I know. And the alternative of being so soft that you can't be broken is the reality of what is wrong with the world. most of the things that are wrong with the world are because of people who, at some point in life, were broken and did nothing about it other than hold on to anger and blame and what have you. Those people can't really acknowledge that they're broken most of the time, but I feel like the rest of us can. And I think it's way more common for people to be hard and what was the word that they used? Hard and stiff. Yeah, I think it's more likely for someone to be hard and hard and stiff versus soft and supple. And I think that's an important sentiment. So, hold on, my dad just texted me, which I was waiting for. Wait, I'm gonna cry. You know how you can see when someone edits a text message? Basically, my dad texted me and he said he was just letting me know something. But he started it with, "Hi, Annalise," and then a dash. And it said show edits, and I clicked on show edits and it said, "Hi, Annie." I've expressed many times to my family and people who I'm still close with that knew me before I was trafficked, so before May 2017, that when they refer to me as Annie, it is extremely triggering in a way that I have not been able to work through yet. It's not like I'm lashing out at anyone. I mean, people do it constantly and I don't say anything. I just it just takes me aback. And my dad usually actually calls me JoJo, a nickname I've had since I was little, but I recently texted him and we were talking about some kind of just deep things. And I said, you've read my victim impact statement, and I've said this several times, but I would really appreciate if, I know it's not going to be perfect. I know you'll slip up, but if you could please try to refer to me as Annalise or JoJo, anything other than Annie. It's hard for me to even say, because that I started going by Annalise after that happened. And even to me, I'm like, God, why is that still something that makes my heart race and makes me have symptoms? And not in a way of I should be over this by now, because I'm never going to be over what happened. And there are still so many other areas of life, like staying in a hotel alone or with a man. I mean, I could go on, but it's specifically the name thing, it just seems like something that wouldn't be such a big of a deal to me. But then again, I am someone who loves words and really holds value in meaning. Atlas of the Heart by Brene Brown. If you have not read it, read it, listen to it, or I suggest reading it because the book is fucking beautiful. Actually, I'm pissed because I gave it to my ex early on to borrow and he never read it and he never gave it back to me, and I'm pissed because I want it back because it's beautiful. That is a game-changing book for, I feel like it was not any new information for me, but reading it, I just kept thinking, because I read it right when it came out, probably in 2022, I just kept thinking I need to show my then boyfriend this book and I need to force him to read it. I just feel like it's one of those things where if a man reads it and really takes it in, I actually gave it to my last ex too, and he was obsessed with it. But it's one of those things where a man is 35 and he comes back from therapy and starts telling you all of these things that he learned, and you're just standing there I've known that since I was 7. It's a really good book. I don't know where I was going with it. Oh, names and the meaning behind words. I guess I just give a lot of value to words. But anyway, the point of that is it was very sweet that he caught himself and then he edited it. I don't remember the last time I've heard my dad call me Annalise. I need to remember that this stops recording every 10 minutes. Which is really irritating. I could use a different camera. Maybe I'll do that next week. Something I actually wanted to do was to FaceTime my dad and record it and just be what do you have to say about all the people online that say you must have daddy issues, or wow, I'm sure your dad's so proud of you, and sarcastically, which it's weird that I still get those comments when I'm not even posting anything. Not quite sure. But yeah, I want to ask him that, what do you have to say to them? I could do it now, but his location shows that he's at work still. So what was I talking about before that? Don't remember. I posted a reel on Instagram yesterday. I was gonna say about my couch. It is about my couch, but it's also not about my couch. Ow, my neck. Just go watch it. I was gonna explain it, but then I'm you know what? It's a minute long. You can go watch it. Don't know why I decided to bring that one up. Okay, I wanna go through the list on my phone that I have of things. I need a name for this segment. I mean, I could obviously just call it Notes app. Seems a little unoriginal. I'll come up with a good name for it that has something to do with, I don't know. I mean, I feel it's a great segment to implement, if not most weeks and weekly, because it's these are things that I thought about throughout the week and they're all random, and I feel it just goes with the vibe of the podcast. Tangent Corner. No, because that's the whole episode. Notes app McGee. Oh, that just reminds me. In the beginning of this podcast, I said, Hello, ladies and tangentlemen. How are we feeling about that? Should I just say tangentlemen instead of ladies? Because then it's like ladies and also fans of the pod. Hello, tangents. No, I really like saying hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just wondering if it makes sense, if it's too long. I'm thinking for the future merch. Is that all? Is that too much? Does that make sense? If someone sees tan gentlemen, are they like, this person's into tan men? Okay. Let me know how we feel about it. I love it, but I'm just like, I'm not the best person to judge that, because I'm in it and it makes sense to me. However, if we do like that and I end up rolling with that and saying that as my intro, the person that suggested that in the comments, I need to go back and find who that was. I'm going to send you the world's fattest care package because I don't like, that's my love language. Let me know how we feel about that. For now, we're just gonna call it Notes app. This was created 3 days ago, so really not even that long of a time. The thing is, I don't know what the point of this is. I know what it means. I don't think there was more to it than, okay, whatever. The first thing I have on my list is poopmaxxing. Poopmaxxing. I've been constipated, okay, for a while now. So I think I was telling myself that I need to poop max. I don't really know. Has anyone ever said poop maxing? Probably not. I feel like I have so many hairs over here. It's kind of a good thing that you're not seeing this side of, oh my gosh, I have a lot of hair over there. Ow, my neck. Next on my list, oh, I have another limited 2 sweatshirt. I like the other one better because it's gray, and this is a dark teal. I don't like wearing greens. I feel like it makes my eyes look like a weird color because they're blue-gray. If I wear blue, they're very blue. If I wear gray, they're like icy gray. When I wear green or like a dark teal, they look yellowy blue, which I understand is green, but they don't look, I don't know if you heard that, but it sounded like an elephant just fell. They don't look green, they look like blue and yellow. Blue and yellow, blue and yellow, blue and yellow, blue and yellow. Oh, that just reminded me. I'm going to remake the theme song of this podcast. Maybe you have noticed that the last 2 episodes I had a different little jingle. That's not permanent, don't worry. But I'm going to compose it like I did the last one. But I want it to be really fucking good. And I'm going to use my piano and my drums. So I just need to make time to do that. And God knows there's not much. Nope, that's not a true statement. There's the same amount of time that there always is. But, and me, I'm not gonna, why do I sometimes just switch to Spanish? Ooh, people that speak multiple languages, do you ever dream in a different language? Let me know, especially if you're still in the process of learning the language. You've been like, let me just stop being hypothetical. Whenever I pick back up Korean, I notice that I have some dreams like fully in Korean. And I know also that that's not really possible because I'm not fluent. I wonder if my dreams are more basic and they're limited to the words that I know in Korean, or if there are some like English words and I just don't remember when I wake up. Also, you know how they always say like it's impossible to read a book in your dreams? Not true. I read books in my dreams all the time. Or I'll know dance choreography that I've never seen before. Dreams are crazy, dude. Anyway, was I going somewhere with that? I don't know. The next thing on my list is just hot neighbors. I was taking a bunch of shit to the trash the other day. Again, just went on a tangent on my Patreon about this entire story, which was left me in tears. I broke down into tears for the first time in months over this day that I had last week. But I was walking back from the dumpster and I saw someone moving in, not like directly next to me, basically where I live. I'm not going to tell you, but like very close to me. And we walked past each other and it was a very hot man. I did not look good because, well, I don't know. I haven't looked good in years. That's not true. I looked crazy. He stopped to say hi and whatever. And I was really trying to like not continue the conversation. Not because trust me, if I had looked better, I would have been all for it. But I just also had been sobbing. I can't even imagine what I looked like. It was not good. It was not cute. My energy was not pristine, whatever. And he was like trying to continue the conversation. When you can tell that someone is into you, I don't know why I said it like that. You can tell when someone is like into, or at least attracted to you, I guess I should say. He didn't know anything about me, presumably, and I could just tell. And I was like, well, that's sweet because I look like I just got out of a blender. I had to escape. I haven't seen him since. Granted, that was not that long ago. And I have been either in my apartment, not leaving, or completely gone. So that's probably why. However, best believe when I leave to go to my yoga class this evening, which is coming up very quickly. Holy shit. God, I don't understand time sometimes. I'm like, I'm going to record the podcast at noon. Then suddenly it's 4 p.m. And I'm like, how did I just work for so long and whatever? Best believe when I leave, I'm going to make sure that I look put together and good in case I come across his path. What? In case we cross paths, which we probably won't. It's a pretty rare thing. Hot neighbors. Wow. All that just because I wrote hot neighbors. The next thing I wrote is more of a complete thought. That's what's interesting about this list. It's like sometimes it's just like eggs, and sometimes it's like a full ass dissertation. But I wrote, why do people keep thinking I'm a teenager? When does this stop? At 25, I wanted it to stop, but now at 31, I think I'll be sad when it does stop. The only time that bothers me, which not now actually, because I'm obviously currently not drinking, but in recent times, the only time that it bothers me is when I get carded and I, for whatever reason, don't have my ID on me. That's probably the only time that it bothers me now. The reason why I said, why do people keep thinking I'm a teenager? I've talked about before how anytime I've tried to buy Sharpies in person, which I don't do a whole lot of anymore, I be Instacart and everything, you get carded. And that's a you have to be 18 type of thing. But where was I? I was somewhere physically where a woman thought, dude, where was I? Where this lady had a son who was 19, and she thought I was probably around his age. Actually, what she thought was that she was checking basically to make sure that I was 18. And now I can't fucking remember where I was. See, this is crazy. This is not me. My memory is untouchable. I remember everything ever. I mean, it's just a short-term memory right now, but the fact that I can't remember like what woman was trying to set me up with her teenage son is like, what is wrong with you? Anyway, that happened like literally a couple of days ago. Stuff like that. Or when I was moving, I was thinking that my dad, because I have more than one bedroom, thinking that we were going to be living together, and they're like, you're living here all by yourself? And I'm like, I've lived, what are we on that year? I mean, I would say 17 is when I moved out and went to college, but technically you have a roommate, and then I lived with friends for a year, and then I lived with my boyfriend for over a year. But since then, whatever, I've lived not just like on my own paying for my stuff, but like I haven't had roommates. I've lived by myself 11 years, and he was astounded. This was just a thought of like, I wonder when it's going to stop, and if I will notice that it's stopping, or if it'll be like, in hindsight, like, hey, no one's assuming that I'm way younger than I am anymore. I don't know. Maybe it'll stop once Gen Z stops looking so old. Look, I think I'm technically, like, I'm a zillennial, I would say. This camera, man. I was saying I'm a zillennial, whatever the technicality is. I was born at the end of 94. Like, growing up, I identify with more millennial, but that's also because I had 4 older sisters. But since like 17 on, I identify way more with Gen Z. I don't know, I guess I relate to both in different ways. It depends. But the younger end of Gen Z, or I guess like mid-range Gen Z, looks so old for their age. It's crazy. The next thing is a link. This phrase is my new go-to for instantly manifesting what I want. Oh, this is an article on Medium. I skimmed through it and I was like, oh my gosh, this is a method that I used to use. I think long before I even could put words to what manifestation or any of that was. And then recently, I think like in episode 1 or 2 of this season, I was talking about the law of assumption and how it's really fucking hard if you are someone who has a lot of trauma. In order to like really use the law of assumption, your brain has to feel safe, just to like put it really simply. I mean, there's a lot more than that. But I saw this article and I was like, oh my gosh, I used to do this. When did I stop doing this? I don't think I stopped. I think I still do say this when I'm around other people, but in my own brain, I haven't been like thinking this way anymore. And I'll explain it so that you know what the fuck I'm talking about. But I'll just read a paragraph where she talks about her experience. So she's on a road trip with her boyfriend. They hit traffic, they stop for coffee, then they get back into the car, and it says the infotainment screen in his Toyota SUV wouldn't turn on. That meant no GPS navigation, no text, no music, no audiobook to pass the time. He pressed some buttons, nothing. He turned off the engine, nothing. Then, to compensate for my limited technical skills, I offered, what if we existed in an alternate reality where this screen suddenly worked? My boyfriend paused, thought, and nodded. We've been together for almost 4 years now, so he's used to my new age jargon. He's also into quantum physics and Hindu scriptures, so he's open to the idea that thoughts influence matter. And then her boyfriend said, okay, all right, why not? When I turn this car back on, we'll be in an alternate reality where it works. You shut off the car, turn the keys, and the screen flickered to life. And then she says, like, this is not the first time I've used this phrase to change my reality. Using the phrase, what if I existed in an alternate reality where blank? Or what if we existed where blank? When I do it, I haven't said like, what if we existed in an alternate reality where? What I have always done is like, what if I do get on my plane, even though I'm getting to the airport when it starts boarding and I still have to go through security and all that? I've used that one, I don't know, 30 times. Have I ever been late to a plane? Negative. She talks about how like with manifestation, you're told to phrase things as in the present tense as if they are already happening or have already happened, which would be to, use the past tense. And actually, now that I'm thinking about it, anytime I try to do the past tense thing, like, oh, write a letter to yourself and like pretend it's, say it in January, pretend it's December of this year and write all the things that happened. That never works out for me. And even writing in the present, like things are happening currently this way, that also doesn't really work out for me. And I think for a lot of people, they would like this method. If you're more, I don't know, more of a skeptic, I think you need a scientific basis in order to believe something. This would be kind of a loophole to that because it's not saying I am a millionaire or this year I made $1 million. It's saying, what if I existed in an alternate reality where I made $1 million this year? For people like that who are more want to manifest things but like cannot get past what feels like it needs proof, which I mean, at this point, are we still like it's been proven that intuition is more valid than whatever. I'm not going to go into that. But for me, I think the reason why I like this and the reason it has worked for me more is because saying things with such finality and like in the present or in the past, I have like doubt in the back of my head, like, or not even doubt, just like a lot of pressure. Ooh, but like, what if that doesn't happen? Then I like have to look back at this and see. For me, it's more about like my self-worth. But saying what if, it's just a, just posing a hypothetical. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But I find, and I have found obviously because I was doing this before I even knew what it was, that more often than not, the hypothetical or the alternate reality ends up happening. So yeah, I saw this article. It reminded me that I used to do this. And I still, like I said, I think I still do say this. I don't know why I keep thinking of the airport, but like recently my mom and my dad were trying to make a flight and they were just, my mom was anxious about everything. And I was like, hey, but what if you get to the gate? Whatever she was worried about. I was like, hey, but what if blah, blah, blah. And what if everything is fine and then you're just stressing and having anxiety and all of this and you didn't need to? And so I do think I do it a lot with others, but I need to re-implement that into my own life and my own meditation, manifestations, just life in general. I need to get back into that now. I think I could really benefit from, for a while, forcing myself to do it and then hopefully getting into the habit of thinking, talking, acting that way. So yeah. Okay, we're gonna hold off on that one until next week because I want to move on from this segment because I feel like it's been pretty long and knowing this camera, we don't have that much time left. Okay, but what if we hold on. What if we existed in an alternate reality where instead of dying after 35 minutes, this camera let me record the whole last episode? That would be pretty tight. I put on my Instagram story on the podcast yesterday to ask questions, mainly because I am locked out of the I'm gonna get back in. I've emailed support. I'm locked out of the Say Hi account, which is where you can leave me a voice message. It's sayhi.com it's in the description, but I think it's sayhi.chat. I don't know my own link. Let me go to tangentpod.com. That'll tell me. Leave a voicemail. sayhi.chat/tangentpod. Okay, so I could leave a voice message, but the problem is I'm locked out of the account because I tried to log in like 2 times and I got the password wrong, and then it was like, please contact support to log in. But I know there's a lot of voicemails on there because I had planned on doing that today. Instead, I posted a story on my podcast Instagram, and I said, ask me some questions for tomorrow's episode. Questions or topics, whatever. I surprisingly got a lot. There's not a lot of followers on that account, like 1,500 maybe. I mean, first of all, I didn't use it at all for 2 years. I'm using it again now. I'm posting more there now, but like I was surprised with the amount of responses that I got. See, already my camera is at 14 minutes and X amount of seconds, and it usually stops between 9 and 10 minutes. So we're in the alternate reality, bitch, okay? Whoa. Literally the first response that I got is, how do you look so young, lol. Weird, because I was just talking about, I think there's certain if you want to get like scientific, I don't know, certain features on someone can make them look older or younger. It's weird because I have a very defined jaw, which I think is typically not a feature of someone that looks young. I think of more round faces. I don't have that, but bigger eyes, maybe I don't know if a smaller nose. I don't know. I think the obvious of like getting filler. What is the word that I was just going to say? Just getting stuff done to your face, paradoxically, I think makes you look older. Someone's playing the guitar, which is crazy because I could hear someone playing the piano above me recently, and they like I swear to God, someone has if not a grand piano, they have just a full-ass upright piano in their apartment. It wasn't a keyboard, and it was beautiful. I was editing and I could hear them like faintly, and I was like, oh God, can you just play every day, all day? And then it made me sad because I was like, I wish I had an actual piano here that I could play, because like my keyboard, it's like in the closet, and I'm like, freaking hate keyboards, but whatever. How many bodies do you have? Yeah, no, we're not gonna go there also because I don't fucking know the answer to that. What products do you use on your hair? I have naturally curly hair too. Okay, I want to do like maybe a YouTube video on this until I put my extensions back in. Well, really what it is actually. Pretty much all of 2025 until like October, I was letting my hair be natural. I was wearing it natural and it was so fucking healthy. But then, you know, someone's in a healthy relationship when they have their natural curls. No, that's when I went back to straightening and styling and wearing clip-in extensions and even wearing fucking wigs if my hair didn't look good. And yeah, and then I put in tape-ins toward the end of that. And then now that I've taken them out and I'm like, okay, we're going back to, my hair right now is in bad shape, okay? I chopped off a lot of it, ripped out like half of it, trying to get the extensions out. So I'm trying to get it back to healthy. It's not in great shape right now, but I do know the best products for my hair, which yes, is very curly, but it's also fine and currently damaged. So maybe I'll do a video. Alternatively, or not alternatively, I will still do a video, but I'm sure I have somewhere on my Amazon storefront like a list of hair stuff, but I will make a dedicated one of the products that I use specifically for my curly hair. And if you go to my storefront, by the time this is up, I promise it'll be there. And they got my hair super healthy last year, super healthy. Like, God, I wish I could go back and not fuck it up again. But you're planning on sharing your pregnancy journey a bit more. I think I said last week, like, I'm probably not really going to talk. I mean, I went into it a lot last week, my feelings. As far as sharing the journey, I think I said, like, it's probably mostly just going to be, like, in the room with us. That is for now. I don't know. Maybe when I'm, like, huge and it's unavoidable. I don't know, though. I don't know. I kind of don't want to. Just I think maybe out of fear, but maybe also out of protection. I don't know. Maybe this person also hasn't watched the last episode, which that would kind of answer. How do you cope with ADHD without meds? Bitch, have you listened to this podcast? L-theanine, lion's mane, reishi. If you're not pregnant, obviously if you're pregnant, check and make sure. Natural remedies. You just, this is a hard question for me because it's like, well, especially right now, I'm really not. But then I think back and I'm like, was I coping with it well when I was on medication? I would still always hyper focus and like I still had extreme time blindness and I could sleep better and I had less anxiety because my thoughts were quieted. I also think I could have answered this a lot better if I wasn't going through such a hard period right now of, I don't want to say my ADHD being bad, but you know, it's hard to think and relay information in a coherent way right now because like truly I do know the answer to this, but it's just I know that it's so hard for me to communicate right now. So this podcast might just have to be like hee hee ha ha fun time for a minute because I don't know if I can be trusted to speak about important things right now. Thoughts on Alix v. Alix. Okay, I have thoughts, which is funny because I don't have, I was gonna say I don't have many thoughts. No, I don't ever talk about like pop culture things on here. My thoughts on Alix v. Alix. I don't know Alix Earle, but what I do know of her is that what it really comes down to is Alex Cooper is a narcissist. And if you haven't known that since for a long time, I don't know what to tell you. I think Alix Earle, when she has her like moments that don't make her look good, I think she shows them. Like, didn't a video just come out of her and her sister like screaming at each other? I don't know. Nothing has come. Like, Alex hasn't responded yet. Alix Earle hasn't responded yet. But I'm like, Alex Cooper, I'm sorry. I haven't liked her since 2019. And not just, oh, I didn't like her podcast. No. Nope. I haven't liked her personally. And Sophia is my girl. So before even knowing the information that Alex is going to bring, I'm on her side. Make a tier list of the best curse words. That's fun. Wait, I want to do that. But I think my camera's about to die. Okay, I have just literally created a tier list. It already had curse words in it. Maybe someone has already done this one, so I just loaded them. I fear my camera's gonna die, so I'm gonna keep this screen up. I'm gonna put it in my podcast tab, and we're gonna do that next episode because that sounds fucking fun. Yeah, I want to end it here because I'm always like, you know what's funny is that my camera hasn't died yet. And it's been recording for a long time. So are we proving my alternate reality manifestation theory in real time? I think so. But the past couple weeks I've been like, oh my God, it's dying. Okay, we're gonna stop. No, let's end this in a calm, peaceful, a nice way where there's closure and you're not feeling like, okay, well, that just ended out of nowhere. Now what am I listening to for the rest 5 minutes of my drive? For the rest 5 minutes of my It's things like that that are the reason that I can't be trusted to like speak about important issues right now. For the rest of my drive, for the next 5 minutes of my drive, whatever. When do you listen to / watch podcasts? Actually, I'm curious. Do you watch this podcast? I think I pretty much just listen to them all because I never just sit and watch a screen. So they'll be like playing in the background. Which podcasts do you guys watch versus listen? Honestly, if enough people were like, I just listen, I might just fucking say, okay, fuck it, then we're not gonna film this shit anymore. No, but then you have to because social social media at all. Ugh, you know what? I was just having this thought the other day. I don't like social media anymore. I mean, this wasn't like a groundbreaking thought that I had, but I was just thinking back to like 2016, 2017, 2018. It was so fun. Honestly, up until like 2020, 2021, 2021, it was so fun. Now it fucking sucks. Everything's fake. Everyone's fake. Everything is written by ChatGPT. It's just not fun. Anyway, let's end this before my camera dies and then I just look dumb. Oh, my child is walking in. And by child, I mean cat. I guess I can't. Can I still call her? Yeah, I can still call her my child when I have a child. Psh, please. Okay, let me know. I asked a lot of questions, so please answer them all below. That is your homework. Ciao.